Hi everyone, this is episode 15 of the Average USA Citizen Show, and I am David Cohen, your host of the show. This week's show might seem a little different. There's no opening music, no theme song, there's no American flag, which I still like and I still will use in future episodes. This episode is entitled The Strip Down to the Bones episode. I just thought of that name. No, seriously, this episode is just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking. Ideas that I'm sure you have thought of, things that you've thought about, topics that you've thought about. I just need to get off my chest. There's been a few things that have been going on that I've been seeing that I'm just tired of, So I'm just going to talk about them for a few minutes, and then I want you to participate. And again, I thank all of you for all the participation I've been getting so far, and I could see our show doing so much more things in the near future, but I need your help. So, if you know people that might be interested in the show, refer them to the show. Watch it with them. Watch it together. Discuss the things that I discuss. Okay, so before I get all off topic of what I was going to be talking about, a couple of things that I'm going to be talking about is, number one, our country is one of the richest and most powerful countries in the world. I hope everybody agrees with me. Pretty much goes without saying. But at the same time, we have kids in our country that go to bed without eating anything. Kids that are hungry in our own country. That's a shame. That's a tragedy. That's a disgrace to our country. They need our help. They're citizens like you and I. And they need our help. And whatever we need to do to end hunger in our own country, we need to do it. Not only end hunger in our own country, but end homelessness. Another part I'm going to talk about. We have a lot of homeless in our country. Now, some of the homeless people are going to be what I'm going to be talking about next too, about mental issues. But there are a lot of families that don't have a place to live. The economy's bad. Most of us are just a few paychecks ahead, or maybe even live paycheck to paycheck. And, if some big thing happens, we can't pay rent, we can't pay bills, next thing you know, we don't have a place to live. As being, again, one of the richest, most powerful nations, I think it's, again, a disgrace that we don't help our fellow citizens. We don't need the government to do this. In fact, I don't want the government to do this. I want us to do it. I want the citizens to stand up and to help make these changes. If we see somebody, that needs help, we should help them, not depend on the government to do it. Because one, if the government does do anything, it's going to cost us 300 times more than if we just did it ourselves. And two, they always find a way to screw it up. So, I'm not saying people don't try in the government. I'm just saying that it's the nature of the government. It's not set up to take care of all the problems. And, we should take on, we have, like I always say, what is my catchphrase? With great freedom comes great responsibility. We have a lot of freedom. We also have a lot of responsibility. If we see our fellow citizens are in need, I think that we should stand up and help, And I'm not saying I do everything right all the time either, and I'm like this perfect person, which I'm not. I make a lot of mistakes. I do things wrong too, and I overlook things too. So I'm talking right now to not only everyone out there, but I'm also talking to myself. So, we need to step up as citizens. I was talking about homelessness. There are a lot of homeless families. There's a lot of, homeless Teenagers that have had problems at home have left. They're out on the streets doing whatever they need to do to survive. That's bad. We need to help them. But then there's another issue. We have a lot of homeless that are people with mental problems, mental health problems. Again, as a nation, it's a disgrace that we have failed these people that have real problems that aren't just like, well, I'm not going to do anything. Some of them don't even know what reality is. They don't even live in reality because they don't have the medicine they need. They don't have the help they need, and so they're not even in reality. And they're living out on the streets. And you see them. You'll see them as you're driving in your car, going to your job or going to go eat or something. They're out on the streets with their shopping carts or whatever, trying to survive, not even knowing sometimes that they're even where they're at. It's a shame. We, as a people, as citizens, need to stand up and help them. Okay, and I know you can't help everybody, but together we can. We're strong together, and that's been my whole cry: is we need to stand up and not only make political changes and not only become politically active, but we need to be active in our community. We need to be active one another, help each other out. If somebody's struggling, help them out. It's the right thing to do, and I think that will get us back on track to being the strong country that we were before. We're still strong, but we're getting weaker because we're allowing things that are not right in, and we're also not taking care of our own. And when you do that, eventually it comes back to haunt you, and then you have problems, and then it gets worse and worse, and then nobody knows, how did we have all this homeless? How do we have all these people that don't have any food or any place to live? Because we don't see it, or we see it and we don't care. We need to start caring. I'm going to get off my soapbox. And I do the same thing. I see the same people, and I try sometimes, but I'm not good at it. I need to be better myself. I'm trying to make the rally cry for all of us. We need to take responsibility for each other. We don't live in an island, okay? We live together. So we need to be like that. We need to be there for each other. I'm talking about all this stuff, how we have hunger, kids that go to bed hungry every night with no food, kids that don't even have a place to live, families that don't have a place to live, men and women out on the street, kids out on the street. I talk about a lot of stuff every week about things going on, but at the same time, I love sports, okay? And I love movies and TV. I love that stuff. But we paid these people to entertain us hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. We're talking about big industries. In fact, the group just bought the Los Angeles Dodgers for what, over $2 billion? I mean, do you even know how much $2 billion is? I mean, that's ridiculous. And that's for our baseball team. I love baseball. I love sports. Don't get me wrong. Passionate about sports. But, we could spend that much on that. But then again, we let these little kids go to bed hungry or without a place to live. It's, and I'm not saying that we got to give up everything. I'm not that. I'm not going to say, we should cut out everything and not do anything. But I think we need to get our priorities reorganized a little bit. I'm talking to myself too. I'm just as much to blame, and I'm not pitching any blame on anybody specifically. I'm saying we as citizens need to step up and make the difference. You see problems. You see the rise in drug use. You see the rise in alcoholism. You see the rise in broken families. You see the rise in homelessness. You see the rise in hunger. You see the decline in education. You see these things and plenty more. Lack of being able to have health care. More and more people without health care and insurance. You see all these things, yet you do nothing. You just go about your day, like you're wearing blinders. Like I said, you go down to your car, you drive your car down the street, you see the people, but you don't really see them. You don't want to see them. You just ignore them, and you put your blinders on, and you go about your day, and you keep doing that every day, and you just go in your routines, and they're in their world, and you're in your world. But the problem is they're citizens too, and they're people too, and they have families, and they have family members that love them, and they are, people and citizens that need help. And so all I'm saying about this, not to get all on a soapbox or preachy about it, is we need to be more responsible for each other and stop being all about ourselves. And I'm not saying we need to be socialists or communists or anything like that. It's just, if somebody needs help, why don't we help them? We don't need the government to tell us that. We should just do it. It's like common decency. It's like looking out for your fellow man, These people are our citizens too. They might be struggling with things that you don't know. I have my own struggles, you have your own struggles. We have to be there for each other. And if we do that, if we get together, I believe that we can make a difference. I believe we can change our country. I believe our country will turn around if we see the problems and become part of the solution instead of ignoring the problems. We will see our country get stronger, and we will see the problems that we are having now dwindle. I'm not saying they all go away, and that's not realistic. But I believe a lot of the problems that we're facing, a lot of stuff that we're facing, is because we are not doing anything about it. We don't care, or we don't think we can do anything. Or there's a lot of reasons why. I'm not saying we all don't care. Maybe that's not the right thing to say. Maybe we don't know what to do. But let's be honest. Probably we don't care either, because as long as we have what we need, we're okay. It's like, just do it for yourself. But that's not the way that we should do it. We need to think about each other. Because with the great freedom that you and I have in this country comes great responsibility. That's not just a catchphrase. That is a motto that I believe that all of us citizens, U.S. citizens, need to adopt. With great freedom comes great responsibility. If we are responsible to the amount of freedom that we have, then our country will be the strongest, the best country out there. Again, this is the Average USA Citizen Show. These are my thoughts, and these are my ideas. If you agree with them, disagree with them, I want to hear about it. Just leave a message on our Facebook page, or leave a posting right here on YouTube. Once again, I'm David Cohen. I am the host of the Average USA Citizen Show, and this ends episode 15. See you back next week with back to normal episodes. Bye everyone, see you next week.